Good afternoon and welcome. This tutorial is for the head, the neck, the shoulders, and the wrists. Specialized movement to help relieve tension and restriction in the upper back and the head and the shoulders for people that work at desks or, let's say, manual laborers or child care providers or those of you that are addicted to hugs. Yeah, so let's get started. Take a big breath in. Hold on full, sip in a little breath, sip in a little more breath, sip in a little more breath, and sigh it out. Good, second round, lift the shoulders up to the ears, inhale, hold once you're on full, keep the shoulders lifted, sip in a little more breath, sip in a little more breath, sip in a little more breath, sigh it out and drop the shoulders. Again, lift the shoulders, big breath in, hold on full, sip, sip, sip in more energy and light, and release the shoulders as you sigh it out. Good, shoulder rolls now. Roll the shoulders up and back. Start to smooth out the breath here. Think about the spine being nice and long. I'm seated at the front edge of the chair. Feet are on the mat. You could do this on your feet if you prefer. Good, and then release. Just a little bobblehead here, creating some freedom in the head, neck, and shoulders. And I just kind of shift the focus over to the right, and I'm bobbleheading, and then I shift the focus over to the left, and I'm bobbleheading. And just do that from side to side. You can close down the eyes if that creates any nausea. And then come to neutral, neck, chin to chest. Find a little abdominal support for the low back. You'll feel the tugging of the erector spinae, the two long muscles that connect in the low back by the sacrum, run along the spine, and then connect at the base of the head and the neck. Keep the chin lowered, slowly roll one ear over to one shoulder. Think half circles versus full circles. Breathing, chin to chest, and then roll over to the other side. Chin to chest, and roll over to the right. Breathing, chin to chest, and then roll over to the left. Nice and slow. A few more times from side to side. Notice if there's any gripping in the jawbone. Can you release the lower jaw off the upper jaw? Can you let the tongue hang slack? Half circles are better than full circles. Full circles create compression in the cervical spine. So half moons are the way to go. Good. Once more each direction. Moving slow and steady so those micro muscles have time to react and adjust. As you're ready to exit, chin back to chest, and then roll the head back up to neutral in any sort of movement that your body's asking. Okay. Head massage. You'll take the fingers into the head, and just like you're shampooing, dry shampooing, I start at the back of the head, and so I'm using the fingers and creating just a gentle massage in the nerves where all the hair follicles are, right? This is actually something that's really good to help the system down-regulate, meaning it helps to balance out blood pressure, and it helps to soften tension. Physically speaking, you'll notice that the elbows are lifted and the shoulder blades are lifted and spreading. This is the opposite shape of leaning over a desk, right? There's a little opening, a little power pose element to it. If you're just not into massaging your head, then just interlace the fingers behind the head, let the elbows hang wide, and find that power pose position as you're breathing. Good, we've just got about 15 more seconds. Flutter through the lips to release any tension in the facial mask. Good. And then we'll release. Roll the shoulders up and out. All right. Finger and face tapping. So this is trigger point therapy for many of the spaces on the face. You can skip this if you're not into touching your face these days, or there's any reason that you need to be hands-free, and simply close down the eyes and imagine that you're tapping these separate face points. And there's trigger points on the face that actually release muscular tension around the whole upper body, and then secondarily, these pressure points help to stimulate different parts of the endocrine system. So we'll start, I'm using my first 2 fingers, bending at the fingers, and just gently tapping a north side of the eyebrows. So just the bones, tap, 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 tap. Breathing gently in and out, right? We're not trying to bruise our body. It's really just the gentlest tapping that you can create a little vibration. And then moving from the ridge of the eyebrows out to the temples, gently tap, tap, tap around the temples. And you'll notice that the closer you get to the hairline, there might be a little more tenderness or tension, and that is indicative of vibration from the sinus cavities that sit behind the eyes and underneath the cheekbones. So nice and gentle here, tap, 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 tap. And then move to the bones right underneath the eyes. Again, if there's sinus pressure, or if you're having allergy attacks, or you're recovering from the flu, or if you're dehydrated, this can be quite sensitive. So be gentle here, tap, 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 tap it out. You certainly can allow the eyes to be closed. And it's just almost feels like the base side of the eye socket. It's the bones themselves. I'm about 2 finger widths below the lowest eyelid here. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm starting to carve the sensation from the temples under the eyes towards the bridge of the nose. Soften any jaw tension here. Breathing nice and full. Tap, 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 tap. Good. And then you'll take 1 or 2 fingers and just press on the base of the nose. This is great if you're suffering from eye fatigue or headaches. There's fascial tissue or connective tissue under the skin that connects all of the muscles that lay the face over the skull. And so just gently pressing against the nose here can create this release sensation across the whole ocular spaces, the nerves, and into the ear spaces. Really just about 10 to 15 seconds of pressing here. Let the eyes hang heavy, breathing gently. And then while we're at it, then you'll take your hands to each of the earlobes and gently press and pull down. So I'm pressing the fingers into the earlobes. Be mindful of any jewelry and gently pulling down. Again, great for headaches. This is trigger point therapy. And again, 10 to 15 seconds. And I alternate between these 2. Then I'll go back to the nose and gently press into the nose. Just think 3 to 5 breaths of time. That'll shift the connective tissue across the eyes and deep into the fascial tissue. And then go back to the ears, a gentle squeeze and a pull down. Again, for about 3 to 5 breaths here. Good. After that second pass, you'll use the fingers and do massage the ears themselves. You know, the cartilage, if you give it a little pressure and then pull it off the scalp, can help to relieve any tension here in the facial mask. Okay. Good. We'll release now and we'll move to the space underneath the nose. So if you kind of hold the teeth open and draw your lips, kind of like you're trying to be teeth-free and you're trying to talk like the old school guys on comedy. Yeah, you're making that face. And then take your first 2 fingers and you're tapping below the nose. It's essentially the line of the teeth, but you want to get your lip out of the way. And you're just kind of tapping that space right there. And you're using the least amount of effort necessary. And I'm tapping all the way across the edge and the bridge of the teeth here, right to left. About 10 more seconds. Good. And in the same shape, and you're going to take it on the chin, as they say. So I'm trying to get my lower lip and kind of tuck it up and over the teeth. And then you can use as many fingers as you want, and you're going to tap out that lower jaw and kind of get all the way to one side of the chin where the chin feels like it turns into the jawbone, and then the opposite part. Good. Remembering that all of this helps to stimulate different areas of the endocrine system. It helps to relieve the muscular tension in the face, and it helps to downregulate or balance out the blood pressure here. Good. And then we'll take both hands and into the lower jaw and down into the jowls, from where the ears kind of connect to the lowest bit of the jowl, and then all the way along that line here, from the ear down the jowls. And you want the lower jawbone to be soft and kind of retracted off the upper jawbone. So no clenched teeth here. Added bonus, you can get into the space if you open your face a little wider, into that space where there's a hinge on both cheeks. Nice and gentle tapping. Good, we got about 10 seconds left. Good, and then flutter through the lips as you rub the palms together to create some heat. If you're unable to flutter through the lips, that is an indication of how much facial tension there is, or if you've got jaw tension. So doing all those tapping points, and then again, just trying to flutter through the lips, really press the hands together to create some heat. 3 more lips. And then take the heels of the hands into the eyes. You can even lower the chin down into the chest and just absorb that heat all the way up into the midbrain. Good, one more breath in, and one more breath out. Releasing the hands and just kind of notice the mood. Notice the sensation across the facial masks. Beautiful. Okay, you'll need a strap or a length of cloth. You can use a tie. You can use some rope here. And again, you can do all of this seated, or you can do the sanding. And I'm just choosing to do seated today. Take your cloth or your strap, fold it in half, and then you'll draw your arms about as wide as the outer hip pockets, right? So if my hands are in my hip pockets and I'm holding my strap, and then I draw the strap forward so that my wrists are parallel with the shoulders. And I'll show you from the side here. We want to make sure that there's no arcing or moving or release in the wrists, right? My wrists are nice and neutral, and they're parallel to the earth. I'm pulling the length of cloth nice and tight, and I want you to notice what's going on in the shoulders now. Are the shoulders creeping up into your ears, right? If so, drop the shoulders out of the ears. And you'll notice now in your back body that it starts to feel like, okay, my shoulder blades are sitting on the ribs, right? That would be ideal. The wider the hands are on the cloth, the easier it is for the shoulders. And I want you to pull the cloth just enough that you start to feel like the armpits hollow out. So we're stabilizing the upper back here. Keep breathing. Good. Now, as you inhale, draw the arms up and overhead. Neutral spine, so you don't want to arc in the spine if you can help it. And then exhale, drop the wrists forward and down. You absolutely could do this standing. Inhale, draw the arms up and overhead, gentle and consistent, pulling on your cloth and strap. And exhale, forward and down. In any variation, just enough abdominal support, drawing in through the jewel of the belly button. And then another thing to notice is if you're sticking the neck forward, right? We want the head to sit evenly over the heart, and we want the heart to sit evenly over the hips, right? One more thing to be mindful of. Next time you inhale upright, pause, bending at the elbows now. Exhale, draw the strap behind you, right? So the gym rats among us, right? This just feels like a nice bar pull, but without the weight. Again, be mindful not to jut the head out in space. If you can only bend your elbows a few inches, that's it. That's where you work. If you're able to bend the elbows the whole way down and kind of shave the back of your head with this strap, do that. It's inhale to lift up and exhale to retract. All right, let's add those two together. Inhale up, exhale forward and down. Gentle and consistent pressure. Inhale up, pull on that strap, bend at the elbows, and draw down. This is an excellent daily practice at the end of your workday, after you've been hunched over a computer. Get up out of your chair, go for a walk, and then when you get back, or just, take a green tea break, do a few cat-cows, and then do your strap work to feel some freedom in the upper back. Just a few more rounds here. Good. Now reach up with the strap. Tuck your right elbow down towards the side body. Push up through the left side of the strap and then lean over. Keep both sits bones nice and rooted on your seat. I'm trying to pull the strap in opposite directions. You feel all those muscles between the ribs wake up. And added bonus, I like to shift my gaze from armpit to armpit, and it just encourages a little bit more freedom in the neck muscles. Keep breathing. Good, neck is neutral. We'll reach up with both arms now, and then we'll switch sides. Tuck the left elbow into your side body, push up with the right hand, and then start to lean over to the side. Right? One side is likely going to be tighter than the other, so just be forgiving with what is available. Be honest with where you are, and find that sweet spot between effort and ease. In yoga, we call this sukha and sthira. Effort and ease. Good. A few more rounds. Option to add that movement through the head and the neck. Good. Then we'll reach up with both of them. Draw the strap in front of the body, and arms stay nice and long, right? Like you're waving your peace flag, pulling that strap, and I'm trying to isolate the movement of the arms. Now, if your shoulders are very tight, you'll find that doing this parallel to the earth is likely more accessible, and if that's not working, then you'll stand up and you'll find a little rowing from side to side. So any of those variations, and you can do all of them, experiment with that movement, and just notice what's going on in the upper back and the back body. Just a few more rounds. Smooth out that breath. Good. And then we'll release. We're done with the strap for now. We'll all stand up and find yoga mudra. This is interlacing your fingers across the low back. Now, if that's not available because the shoulders are really tight, you can do one arm at a time, bending at the elbows, sliding your hand across the low back, taking your opposite hand to gently press that shoulder back in space. If the elbow is tender, making a fist can help to protect the elbow. So again, if you cannot interlace the fingers behind you here, that is your alternative, taking one arm at a time. Good. So if you're able to interlace the fingers, I want you to pull the arms as far away from you as possible. You think about broadening through the collarbones without dropping your head all the way back. If you're close, you could even use your strap. And I recommend the palms face away from the body. I'm pulling the strap tight, or yoga mudra. I'm interlacing the fingers, or one arm across the low back at a time. If you're able to lift the wrists up and off the low back, that would be fullest expression, and you feel this gorgeous stretch from the collarbone to the outer shoulder, the anterior deltoid. Take a few more breaths here. If you're feeling really open and groovy, you can forward fold, bending the knees, laying on the thighs, and then tipping the wrists up and overhead. These are progressions. So you do what's available to your body. Keep breathing. As you release, take a few shoulder rolls, a few head and neck rolls, and just notice all that opening. Okay, cow face pose, Gomukhasana. Pick an arm. I'm starting with my right. Reach for the heavens. Bend at the elbow and slide the hand across the base of the head and the neck. So if you've got hair or hats or barrettes or anything, try to move those out of the way. For now, you might find that setting the hand at the base of the head and the neck is available. Over time, you may be able to slide the hand in between the shoulder blades and you're pressing the head into the arms. Again, this is a matter of mobility, so do your best. Opposite hand slides across the low back and make a fist. Option is stay here, or one of these days you'll crawl your hands and either grab onto your shirt, and fullest expression, you find that you can interlace or stack the fingers. Now stay in the shape, and things to notice. Are your front ribs puckering out? It's totally normal. The body's trying to make space when we're tight. So can I maintain the shape of the arms and pull those front ribs in? So I'm in neutral spine and the shoulders are open. You've got about 3 more breaths of time here. Good, and then release. And just any sort of creative movement, flutter through the lips. And let's do the opposite side. I'm lifting up through the left, bending at the elbow, and you place your hand where it's available. You can use your opposite arm to kind of sneak it in a bit. Be mindful of those front ribs, right? I settle into my seat, or if I'm standing, I settle into the roots of my feet, draw in through the front ribs. Opposite arm slides across the low back, make a fist, option 1. Bending more deeply at that bottom elbow, maybe you grab onto your shirt behind you, and over time, you might interlace the fingers. Please don't force this. Remember, muscles are programmed to stretch and release when we exhale. So when you hit your edge, pause, take another breath in, and then as you exhale, you may find that you've got more room. Take a few more breaths here. And then release and find any sort of creative movement that feels comfortable. Good, flutter through the lips. All right, final posture. This is the big one, eagle arms. Eagle arms stretch the entire back body by spreading the shoulder blades apart, and it creates a ton of relief in the upper back. If there's only one pose you do every single day and you're a computer-bound worker, this is it. Warm up if you need to, and then you take eagle arms. Okay, eagle arms, level 1 is just give yourself a hug. So I'm left over right. And just take the first few breaths. I like to kind of dance in the upper back and feel some movement here and all of that soft tissue in the back body. And then coming back to neutral, breathing, there's confidence in the navel. Make fists and try to draw the backs of the arms together. So you'll feel a lot of movement on these outer shoulder spaces, your anterior deltoids. One of these days, and it's nothing to force, you might find that your bottom fingers can grab your thumb or your palms can come to touch. So I'll demonstrate sideways. I'm pressing my arms against each other. And then if you look at my back body, you see all the shoulder blades are spreading wide. In whatever shape, whatever direction you are, you can lift the elbows a few inches as you breathe and drop the elbows a few inches as you breathe. The chin is parallel to the collarbones, nice and gentle. This is a big stretch, so do your best wherever you are. If you're hugging, you lift and drop at the elbows, right? Fists and the elbows are apart, lift and drop at the elbows. If you've got the bind, lift and drop at the elbows. Take one more full breath cycle. Unravel. If you're seated, take the hands to the chair behind you. Lift through the heart, gentle back bend, and then find some creative movement to release. Flutter through the lips. Feel that freedom in the back body. All right, let's do the other side. Hugging to start. I'm right over left now. Draw the chin parallel. Notice if your chicken neck, if the chin is jutting forward, can you retract in the jawbone and in the neck so that your head hovers over your heart and your heart is over the hips? And again, some little movement here. You can kind of barrel roll through the upper back in both directions and breathe. Good, and then come to neutral spine. This might be enough for you, in which case you do the lift and the drop from here. Level 2, next step is to start to draw the backs of the arms together with fists, and making fists wraps all the muscles over bones, right? When we try to stretch active muscles, it's much more efficient for the muscle fibers, and it protects the joint system. One of these days, as the arms start to draw closer together, you might find that you can sneak up and take the bottom hand into your thumb, or over time, you may find that you can clasp the fingers together. Again, we're really searching for that sensation of the shoulder blades spreading nice and wide here. Chin is parallel to the collarbone, and then find that movement, right? A little confidence in the navel, whether you're on your feet or whether you're in the chair. Keep breathing slow and steady. Just a couple more breath cycles. And then release and find any sort of creative movement that is comfortable and accessible to you. Flutter through the lips. And then settle into stillness and close down the eyes and notice what's vibrating. Notice the buoyancy and the spaciousness in the heart and the upper back and the neck. And then take a big breath in and a sighing breath out. All right, well done. Namaste. Thank you for playing. And I'll see you soon.